Welcome back to the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer bets in 15 minutes or less. We have a massive game in the Premier League this weekend. We've got Liverpool 8 points clear of the league, and they're going to a stadium that they have not won a match at since 2018 when they take on Manchester City 11:30 on Sunday. We will have bets for that. We have bets for the rest of the Premier League and a couple games from around Europe. I'm Andrew Passaro. Joining me making his second appearance on the podcast, Mr. Marcus Krum. Welcome back. Champions League draw will be out by the time you folks are listening to this. And we both, after long discussions, kind of let it go if they don't draw Real Madrid in the next round. They'd be 14. They're
Oh
14 to
yeah.
1 right now. I'm sure that number will move. It might honestly even go up because they could draw Bayern Munich. But yeah, we're on Atleti here.
I mean, maybe like a little Atleti to win Champions League and La Liga parlay. I don't know. If you're
Bro,
feeling if you're feeling dangerous.
if you're trying to retire for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Um, but let's get into the matches. We got a big one Friday afternoon. Leicester taking on Brentford. Leicester haven't scored a goal at home in their last five EPL games. Brentford not the best road team in the world, but Leicester just they're awful. They're not good. Brentford money line at plus 100. A little trappy. I'm gonna walk right into it. I looked at team total. You can definitely take Brentford to score a couple more goals in this game for sure, but I think they will inevitably get this one done as Leicester are they're going back down.
Yeah, I mean Leicester are just an absolute disaster. I think anything fading Leicester right now is a pretty safe bet.
You're going to a game that I thought about betting, but I can't. I can't bet on Everton versus United. This will be a I watched 0 minutes of this game. But the number is good on Everton. United very injured. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean you mentioned the injuries. I think that's the story for United right now. I remember, as a Spurs fan, when the injuries started rolling in October, November, and the idea was, okay, things are probably going to get worse before they're getting better. Things are going to get worse for United before they get better right now. They haven't scored in their last two games, so I like Everton double chance and under 2.5 at plus 111. And then, I mean, no goals in the first half too. It's hitting United's last three games. Again, they don't look like scoring. Everton are going to batten down the hatches at Goodison. That's at plus 168. And then at Man United just to not score. Again, they're out. Amad Diallo, Alejandro Garnacho looks more like Timo Werner than he does prime Marcus Rashford. And so I at plus 200 for United not to score. They haven't scored in their last two matches. I like them to make that three.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. This one screams Everton win 2-0, taking
Yeah.
care of business, and
Mhm.
they move on. Bournemouth are taking on Wolves same time, a game I am interested in. Bournemouth and over 2.5 at plus 115. They've hit that in four of their last five wins. But I also don't hate a sprinkle on result in both teams to score for Bournemouth at plus 185 because Wolves know how to score goals. You can get Mateus Cunha had a very good anytime goal score or assist number this weekend, and I would recommend taking that if that's something you want. But I just kind of see Bournemouth getting a result here at home. Kluivert score or assist at plus 100. He had that hat trick of penalties in the reverse fixture. I don't hate him getting in a goal contribution, but Semenyo score or assist at plus 105. He has a goal contribution in 8 of his last 11 games for Bournemouth right now. This Cherries team seems like a team that has too much to offer for Wolves once again. And is there goals on, is this end up being like a 3-1 or a 4-2 type of game? Absolutely. But I'm just going to stick with Bournemouth and over 2.5 is my favorite play there. And we can jump to Newcastle taking on Forest 9 a.m. on Sunday. Both teams are scoring over 2.5 here at minus 120. Has hit in three of the last five for both clubs and hit in the last four games head to head between these two. And both of these two, in my opinion, kind of slipping up right now. Newcastle were flying about a month and a half ago and haven't found that form since. Honestly, even the second leg of the Carabao Cup I mean, they were good, but they weren't as prolific as they were in the first half. Anthony Gordon score or assist at plus 110. He's hit that in 6 of his 12 home EPL games. I don't hate that. But more importantly, Chris Wood playing against his old squad, plus 200 anytime goal scorer. He has goals in 6 of his last 9 games for Nottingham Forest. I know Newcastle are good defensively against the set piece, but I still think Chris Wood could do something in this game. Um, it just kind of screams like I don't know. There's games that scream Chris Wood game, and this is one of
Hmm.
those games that screams Chris Wood game for me.
I mean, was it against Newcastle that he had the Boxing Day hat trick?
It
that
might have
kind
been.
of set him off on this insane Jordan run that he's on in the Premier League. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I Chris Wood to score at this point is just like if it's plus money, you got to sprinkle something on that.
Right. And we'll talk about another one of those guys right now when we talk about Manchester City. They're taking on Liverpool Sunday, 11:30. Liverpool are a plus number on the money line. They were plus 130. They haven't won at the Etihad since 2018 in the Champions League, so it's been even longer in the Premier League. But Mo Salah is plus 130 anytime goal scorer. He is the Golden Boot winner right now, or the leader of the Golden Boot race. He's anytime assist at plus 220. He's score and assist at plus 437. He's done that 10 times in the Prem, 12 times in all competitions, and already done that against Manchester City this season. Um, and I guess this is just a pro Egyptian podcast right now because Marmoush score or assist at plus 115, goal involvements in his last two games. He didn't, FanDuel did give the assist on the set piece somehow against
Oh,
Real Madrid. It doesn't count as
the,
an assist, but FanDuel did count it as
the
one.
bank shot assist, we'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. I also don't hate three shots in this game for Marmoush at plus 105. He did that 23 times this season, going back to the Frankfurt days. Um, I'm expecting Haaland not to play. He didn't come off the bench for Manchester City in their Champions League game against Real Madrid. Um, Said to be nursing some kind of an injury, but Marmoush was also the main guy for them a couple week, last week in the Premier League. He's starting to shine there, and I do think that whether he's playing down the middle or if he's playing down one of the wings, he's going to give the Liverpool fullbacks a nightmare. I'm relatively confident that Liverpool can get a result in this game just because Manchester City are John Stones now injured. Um, some of these new signings I like, but it takes time to adjust to a Pep Guardiola system.
Yeah.
And I do think Nico Gonzalez helps a lot, but I do think that Liverpool will end up controlling more of the possession. Um, and yeah, I mean, look, Salah, the numbers for Salah are great. You got to play them, in my opinion. But you may think otherwise.
No, I like the numbers for Salah. I mean, I like Liverpool money line plus 125. Also like Liverpool double chance and over 2.5. City are shipping goals for fun right now. Liverpool are scoring goals for fun all season. I also another guy whose number I like, Dominic Soboslai. First of all, he got into some multiple dangerous goal scoring chances in Wednesday's game, and that I mean, and could have sealed it if he hadn't squared the late ball to Darwin, who put into Rosette. So Soboslai to have one shot on target is plus money, and he's done it in 8 of his last 10 starts.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, I mean that's a number. And then anytime goal scorer, Dominic Soboslai plus 550. And here's the thing about that, which he's only got 3 goals. But if you're an XG guy, he's got 5.7 expected goals in the league. I don't believe in he's due, but if anybody's due right now for a goal in the Premier League, it's Dominic Soboslai. I like the areas he's getting in. It feels like he's picking up ball. He's making those late runs. He's picking up balls in the box. Those are 2 good numbers for me on Soboslai. And again, this is a City team that obviously struggled against Real Madrid. I think they're going to continue to struggle defensively for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I like some of the players that they brought in, but like Kushinov, that guy needs time. He's like 20 years old.
Yeah,
Like
right.
it's hard to defend in this league, and Manchester City are the cracks are showing right now.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich are taking on Frankfurt Sunday in the Bundesliga. I didn't even look at the number, but I will tell you that I like Hugo Ekitike to score anytime. But this is a big game for Bayern. They didn't win last weekend against Leverkusen. I still think the title race is over, but not exactly a convincing performance at home against Celtic. This is a big game in the Bundesliga. You got picks. What do you like?
Yeah, it's a huge game. And I think Bayern get the job done. I just think this Eintracht Frankfurt team without Marmoush, like you mentioned before, is just not quite the same. I like Ekitike. But Bayern money line in both teams to score is plus money. Bayern haven't exactly been able to batten down the hatches defensively, and Frankfurt are good for a goal typically. I mean the last time out, Bayern and Frankfurt was a 3-3 again. That was with Marmoush. But I like both teams to score. I just like Bayern to get the job done here, especially in this Bundesliga title race that they're really trying to pull away. And I also like Eintracht Frankfurt first half +1. Um, they've only trailed by more than one goal at halftime one time this season. And so +1 to me, it's plus money for them to at +1 at the half. I like them to stay in this game. I mean, we saw Celtic really hang around and make things difficult for Bayern during the week. And so I like Frankfurt to score and hang around in this game. But at the end of the day, especially pending Harry Kane's health, at the end of the day, I think Bayern do get the job done.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, Frankfurt also are going to be playing, or they're not playing Thursday in Champion Europa League, so they have a full week of rest. But
Yeah,
um, things are coming quick and fast for them. And at some point, if you're Frankfurt, it's like, do we win Europa League or do we,
yeah,
finishing
exactly.
top four in the Bundesliga? What's more important? Um, I had to choose your own adventure here of where I would go next, and I've decided to go with Roma and Monza. Roma and under 3.5 the game at -110. I like a lot. And their 6 wins in the calendar year for Roma, they've done that in five. They're winning these games like 1-0, 2-0, even
Yeah,
maybe a 2-1. And Monza are just a disaster right now. Didn't realize that's Monday Night Football in Serie A. So, um, nah, I mean, it is what it is, but I still think Roma take care of business. Um, yeah, and then you have one. We don't go to France a lot. We are going to go to France in the both teams to score parlay, but Lyon are taking on PSG this weekend. Well, PSG, man, they are steamrolling right now.
yeah, they're flying. They're flying. I like over 3.5 goals in that one. That's plus money. Um, I mean, just looking at PSG's form right now, I mean, that front three of Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Barcola is one of the best, if not the best, in Europe right now. So I think they're going to score goals. The last time out against Lyon, it was also right after a midweek Champions League game, and they won 3-1. This is a little bit of a different test away from home, but um, I think there's goals in this one. You can toss the over 3.5 with PSG money line, and it's +228. I also think you can do the over 2.5 in PSG money line at +125. And then right now, Dembele, I mean, PSG, scored a touchdown and the extra point against Brest the other day. And Dembele wasn't involved at all. No goals, no assists. But I do think he gets back on the score sheet. He scored 10 goals since January 29th. And anytime goal score, he's plus money. So
There we go. He's not in the goal scorer parlay this weekend. You might want to put him in there. It's currently plus 1894, four legs. We talked about the two Egyptians. You can take Salah, anytime goal scorer, Marmoush, score or assist. Going to Ollie Watkins, score or assist against
mm,
Chelsea. And then Rafinha, anytime goal scorer, was plus 105 as Barcelona are at Las Palmas. Um, I think he gets back on the score sheet. Once again, that's plus 1895. Speaking of that Las Palmas game, one thing that the Liverpool fan in me will tell you, Stefan Bajcetic scored last week for Palmas. He is plus 180 to have a shot on target again against Barcelona, and Las Palmas have played well against some of these
well,
bigger La Liga
yeah,
clubs.
they have.
So
They've had some scalps this season. They've
I don't think it's a shoe-in of a win for Barcelona, which is why like I said, I don't hate the Rafinha play there because I think they're going to need a big performance, and
Yeah.
he's tended to step up for them in those big games. And the both teams to score parlay as teased. We will start. It's plus 220. We will start with Ipswich Tottenham. 17 of the 28 Ipswich games in four straight for Ipswich have been both teams to score. 24 of 40 Tottenham games have been both teams to score. And then we'll go to a big one in France. Lille are taking on Monaco, and I didn't realize that Lille, 24 of their 37 games have been both teams to score. Um, and Monaco, 20 of their 34 games. And we'll close with that Aston Villa Chelsea game. Villa and Chelsea both love to give up a goal. 24 times for both teams. Villa played 38 matches, Chelsea played 37. So you're getting a good amount of times that all of those games are hitting at plus 220. I like that value for a little Saturday. France and England, both teams to score parlay. That will wrap up our show. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do Premier League bets midweek full episode. I will have picks online. It's a loaded midweek, including Liverpool, Newcastle, leg two, which I will just tell you, you can take over 3.5 goals and both teams to score in that game. There's no way either team keeps a clean sheet. Alexander Isak, anytime goal scorer, if it's a plus number, you take that. Mo Salah, another score or assist performance, most likely on the cards. Um, yeah, but that'll wrap it up from us. You can follow me at Andrew Passaro. You can follow Marcus at Marcus Krum, and we'll be back soon next week. We actually don't think we have Premier League next week because I'm pretty sure it's an FA Cup week.
Yep.
So we'll find something to bet on. Don't worry, we'll take care of you. And we've got Champions League round of 16 coming up in March. We've got Carabao Cup coming up in March before we take a well-needed break for I think World Cup qualifiers in March. So then we get ready for the March to the end of the season, and hopefully next week once the draw's out, I'll talk about some of our well, maybe we can sneak in and do like a little preview of good numbers for a team to advance in the Champions League because as I think I mentioned on social, Real Madrid were minus 128 to advance against Man City, and that seemed like if ever there was a time to put in that nuclear missile play, that was it. But until next time, guys, best of luck this weekend. We'll see you.